Hi everyone, my name is Adam Zobian,
And I'm Matthew.
and we wanted to talk about how we could prevent gambling addiction in teenage males.
Let's dive in. So, gambling. Why are young men so attracted to gambling? Let's start with the basics. What is addiction? In simple terms, addiction is giving in and not being able to stop, and can be modeled by the cycle on the screen, where the user gives in to an addiction, feels really good, and then gives back in to feel a similar type of feeling. But let's dive deeper. Gambling. At face value, gambling seems like a way to socialize, have fun, and win money. But is this really the case?
We wanted to see how gambling affected students, specifically at WHS. So we conducted a survey, and here's what we found. So we asked them, have they ever gambled? And of course, 64.2% of them said indeed they did. Then we asked what gambling did they engage with the most? And the second and the first most common was sports betting. And then after that, it was casino card games, with a couple miscellaneous coming at the end. Then finally, we asked if they believed gambling was normalized in high school. And most of them said they did believe it was, at 62.3%.
But what is the root cause of these problems? Well, the first cause is social media. With the rise of social media, gambling has become glorified and seen as a joke, with many of the following going viral.
Cause number 2, accessibility. In August 2022, Massachusetts passed legislation allowing for sports betting apps for people over the age of 21. And although online casinos are legal, they still exist. But the question is, if teens aren't 21, how are they accessing many of these sports apps like BetMGM and DraftKings? Well, it's mostly through friends and family. It's not crazy to believe that if you're in high school, you have a friend or a sibling who's 21 years old who can access many of these apps such as DraftKings and BetMGM.
The final cause is social pressure. Here are some real conversations among high school students.
Hey, will you be putting money on the Super Bowl tonight?
Is grass green?
Oh, my parlay lost by one leg again. I'm so angry.
It's okay, just try again tonight.
Yeah, you're right.
With these conversations among high schoolers, it is clear that gambling is not only normalized, but encouraged as well.
What are some of the effects? Well, among all of the addictions, gambling is linked to the highest suicide rate. And of teens who gamble, there is a direct correlation between gambling and engaging in illegal drugs. Also, there's the idea of the gambler's fallacy. This is the idea that the universe will correct itself as long as they keep gambling.
For example, the roulette wheel has landed on red the last 8 spins. Black must be due, so I'm going to bet big on black.
This problem can only lead to people gambling more and losing more money.
To combat these issues, here are some solutions that we've drafted. At the state and national level, we need to illegalize online sports betting. But since this will not happen anytime soon, what can we do now?
Well, there's a couple practical solutions that we can start pretty much overnight. Firstly, putting tighter regulations on gambling apps, such as face recognition, social security number verification, and enforcing government-issued IDs. Then, making sure that we're teaching about gambling in schools the same way we teach about alcohol and tobacco. It's important to show students the problems and dangers of gambling. And finally, sending out commercials the same way, again, we do for alcohol and tobacco. We highlight the dangers of gambling that exist for anyone. But also, we realize that there needs to be some government-involved solutions. Nothing can change without the government. So here's our step-by-step plan that we hope will happen one day. First, we would get a third-party company to create a gambling credit score. This gambling credit score would take into account a variety of factors, such as how often people gamble, how successful their bets are, and what are the outcome of their bets. And then we'll transition this into a gambling credit score. The same way you have a credit card score, this gambling credit card score would be associated with your social security number. Then, when companies like BetMGM and DraftKings go to allow people to gamble, The government would tax people highly on lower credit score gambling individuals. This would encourage gambling companies to not allow people with low credit scores to gamble, encouraging people who are bad gamblers to stop gambling, or in turn improve their gambling habits.
All right, so we know addiction is bad, but how can we fight it? First, we want to say that quitting isn't easy, but here are some methods of support. First, you can talk to a friend, or second, a family member and trusted adult. And lastly, you can call a specific hotline to your addiction, for example, 1-800-GAMBLER. And bonus, think about how your future will be affected.
Thank you
for listening.